Exactly. Right. Are you gonna do the last one as well? The last event? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's your first time here in Abu Dhabi?
No, I've been living here for
Oh, you're
7
good.
years.
Oh, wow. How do you like it?
I'm in Dubai, like,
Okay.
now I just came to Australia.
Oh, gotcha. Where you come from?
I'm from Jordan.
Okay. Wow. So, are you under contract here?
No, Japanese.
Like for lunch, it's kind of hard to so
Yeah, no, I have a freelancer.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I can.
Yeah, strictly for the show, but it was like pre-COVID, so it was a lot more things to see. So, just being in the bubble is unique. It's a big thing. Still,
Good morning. This is Esther for MMAfighting.com, and we are waiting for the staredowns for
it's kind of like
UFC Fight Night, Figueiredo versus Benavidez 2,
Arizona, like Phoenix,
from
Arizona,
Yas
which is, it
Island
gets up to
in
100
Dhabi.
with, I think,
I keep calling it Fight Island, but it's Yas Island's kind of barely an island, but that's alright.
I don't know what's great.
So, we're not quite sure when the staredowns will start, but we've been told by Guillermo Cruz, who is our reporter on the ground there in Abu Dhabi, that fighters are there and ready and waiting. So,
it doesn't get that hot.
just a few minutes now.
But still, yeah, it's not as
And to recap what happened earlier in the morning,
exactly.
well, morning for us here
That's crazy.
in the States, but
California.
everybody made weight.
Next to the beach. Just spoiled.
So there's no issues there.
I've been living here for 7 years.
Is that it? Really? No, I get it. Just like you gotta constantly
And we're just waiting on the fighters and Dana to face off. Well, Dana to face the fighters off, rather. He's not facing off with the fighters. But good morning again. This is Esther Lynn for MMAfighting.com. We are waiting on the face-offs from Abu Dhabi for UFC Fight Island 2 card. This will be on ESPN Plus tomorrow night.
Ah, não tem domingo não. Pô, quarta-feira o quê? Terça-feira? Não, eu até entendo, né? Porque, pô, você pode fazer com antecedência, os caras cortarem peso e tal. Mas. Vai me fode, né? Não mudaram nada, quarta e quinta, né? Depois só piscina. No dia seguinte eles abriram piscina. Vai aqui. Vai aqui.
So let's just count. Let's make sure that the audio is working here. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. All right. So good morning from Inglewood, California. We've got Guilherme Cruz on the ground there in Yas Island, Abu Dhabi. We are waiting on the staredowns here, and our reporter Guilherme Cruz has said that the fighters are there and ready and waiting. We are just, waiting on Dana, and then as soon as he's there, they will get to face off. And then following the face-offs, there will be scrums, I believe with Figueiredo, Dana, and Benavidez, but I'm not sure. We don't know yet. Maybe he might also just leave. So. But excuse me. Let me get some coffee sipped here. All right. So again, we are just waiting on the staredowns. All the fighters are there and ready to face off. We're just waiting on Dana and for them to get started over there in Abu Dhabi. You can kind of hear Guilherme Cruz speaking in the background. And we're just gonna take a quick little peek at the chat and see if there are any questions while we are waiting. This is Esther Lynn with MMAfighting.com. I am normally the photographer for these events for MMA fighting, but there's no photography allowed. So. It's just our reporter Guilherme Cruz there, and myself here in the U.S. The UFC has been actually, thankfully, distributing photos for us, but no outside photographers. Eventually, though, we might be able to get back to that. Jared Weaver wants to know what's the best bet for tomorrow. No. Does anyone have like a lock? They think someone's definitely gonna win tomorrow. Who's everyone's lock? Because there's some really good fights. Tsarukian is super good, and I'm really excited for his fight against David Ramos. Of course, everyone loves to watch Pantoja and him and versus Askar Askarov, who remember if you remember when he fought Tim Elliott, that was a wild fight, and Tim Elliott didn't remember any of it. So, should tell you how crazy that fight was. That is going to be great flyweight fight. So there's some good supporting action on this card. I'm being told in the comments here that Joel Alvarez is a lock. But, what, you guys don't have faith in Joe Duffy? I got people picking Grant Dawson over Nad Narmani. Looks like. And, okay. I don't know. So, yeah, Josh Stern says, Joe Duffy is inconsistent. I guess so. You know, now would not be the time during this pandemic to expect consistency from many of the fighters. Now is a really difficult time for fighters to get the kind of training they're used to. Seems like Joe Duffy's kind of a big betting favorite, possibly. Yeah, so I guess people in the comments are saying that that's not for sure. Might be a good Joel Alvarez might be a good underdog to bet on. I myself do not really gamble on fights, so I would not have any good advice for that. We do have internal picks, and I am the 2018 MMA fighting staff picks champion. However, I got soundly beat last year by Casey. So I did not win last year, and I am doing very poorly this year. So, oh, fantastic!
Welcome to the flash
Looks like
form
the
here on
staredowns are
UFC Fight
getting
Island
underway.
4 UFC Fight Night. Figueiredo versus Benavidez 2. UFC President Dana White has taken to the stage. So time now to face off our athletes. Prelims kick off at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Plus. And we start with the heavyweights. Carlos Boy Felipe versus Sergey the Polar Bear Spivak.
All right, Polar Bear Sergey Spivak versus Carlos Felipe, who was all up in the Polar Bear's face.
Moving along to the lightweights. Next up, Dhabi Tasmanian Devil Hamosh versus Arman Sarukian.
Hey, Dhabi Ramos. Oh, goodness. All right. Calm down, guys. A little bit of a skirmish going on. They're not even going to really face off because...
Next up, it's the bantamweights. Malcolm X. Gordon and Amir the Prince Elbazi.
Okay, we got Malcolm Gordon versus Amir Elbazi. At flyweight.
Staying with 135 pounds. Next up, Brett the Pikey Johns and Montel Quick Jackson.
Here we got Brett Johns versus Montel Jackson. This is a bantamweight bout.
Lightweights next, Irish Joe Duffy and Joelle Alvarez.
All right, Joel Alvarez versus Joe Duffy. This is a lightweight bout.
Got a catchweight bout next between Grant KJD Dawson and Nad Narimani.
We got Grant Dawson and Nad Narimani. This is a 150-pound catchweight bout. Both fighters are normally featherweights, but given these circumstances, quite a few fighters have been choosing to meet at a catchweight or a higher weight class during this time. Grant Dawson versus Nad Narimani.
Our featured prelim is at 205, Roman Delidze and Hadis Ibrahimov.
All right, we got Hadis Ibrahimov versus Roman Dolidze. This is a light heavyweight bout. Goodness, everyone is getting in each other's faces today.
We move on to the main card, which begins at 8 p.m. Eastern exclusively on ESPN Plus, and we launch into it in the flyweight division with number 4 ranked Alexandre Cannibal Pantoja and number 7 ranked Askar Bullet Askarov.
This is going to be a great bout. Askarov opens up the main card on ESPN Plus. And they are mask to mask. Alessandro Pantoja was also the backup just in case somebody in the main event didn't make weight, but we're okay. Everybody made weight, and we get to watch this fight. Askar Askarov versus so amazing. All right, Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipski versus Luana Carolina. Extra fist bumps here.
Next up is the Strikers Delight at 155. Mark Bone Crusher
Right.
Jacasey
Mark is
and
Mark
Rafael
Jacasey
Ataman Fiziv.
So, Rafael Fiziv. Rafael Fiziv. This is a lightweight bout.
Moving on to the co-main, it's a big one at 185 pounds with the number 6 ranked Jack the Joker Hermanson and the former title challenger Kelvin Gastelum.
Fantastic. This is the co-main event. At middleweight, here we got Jack Hermanson and Kelvin Gastelum.
And finally, the main event, the rematch for the UFC flyweight title between Deiveson Figueiredo and Joseph Benavidez.
We got Deiveson Figueiredo and Joseph Benavidez. Both men came in at exactly 125 pounds. Jiu-Jitsu versus the God of War, Deiveson Figueiredo, for your main event on ESPN Plus tomorrow night.
That's the face-offs done. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks very much for tuning in to the Stare Downs. We may have some scrums for you from Dana White. We're not sure. yet how that's going to be arranged. So just hang on a minute if you want. Or not. You don't have to hang out if you don't want to. But we'll be here. And stay tuned. All right, our reporter Guillermo Cruz is setting up for the scrum, so we are definitely going to have some questions. There we go. All right, we are back already. Fantastic. And then we're gone again. No, don't worry. We do have the scrums coming, but not for a few minutes. It looks like they're about to let us know what the situation will be. So, it's like just a few minutes. So stay tuned. Oh, classic WEC turret on Mike Roach there. If you all can't see, but I'm looking at Guillermo's camera right now. All right, we've got Dana White coming up first to the mic. Well, maybe not first. We'll see. Usually first. We're just waiting on him. I love giving you all the wrong information. You'll have to figure out whether I'm trolling or not, what is accurate? What is Esther saying, and is any of it for real? You'll never know. Just kidding. No, as far as I know, Guillermo Cruz has told us that Dana White is showing up to do the scrum. We just don't know if he's going to be the very first person in the scrum, so. Just chilling on a Friday morning here in California while our Guillermo Cruz is reporting to us live from Yas Island, Abu Dhabi. Oh, look at that. We've got a handy little mini frame so you can see if somebody walks in. Have a sip of my coffee. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna see someone kind of. I hope this person in the white shirt doesn't stand there the whole time. JP would like to know thoughts on French toast versus waffles versus pancakes. And I friggin' love French toast. Just love it. Even more so when it's made with either wheat bread or brioche. Super fantastic. However, waffles. And you know what? Kind of depends though, right? Because there's bad waffles too. But the waffles at Serving Spoon around the corner, fantastic. Great waffles. Also, I make pretty decent waffles at home. I don't agree that pancake wins by KO because the thing about pancakes is that they pancake, meaning like no matter what, if you have a stack of pancakes, you'll have like the first two, and as you get past that, the last one is inevitably cold and not delicious. And you don't really have that problem with the other breakfast breads. Sandy Pham says she likes some pineapple buns. I do love pineapple buns. Pineapple buns are the best. I love them slightly toasted. Maybe. French toast feels disrespected. Oh, I'm so sorry. I love French toast, though. French toast is great. Okay, looks like Dana's here.
What's up, gang?
Weren't expecting to get put to work like that.
Everybody was fired up today, man. I like it. I like it.
It's good. Talking about this main event, this rematch, Joseph told us that you put the rematch together pretty quickly after the first fight. What was it? Was it the way the fight ended with the headbutt involved? Was it the weight miss? What was it that you were like, hey, we got to do this one right now?
It was both. It was everything. That fight was a no-brainer to redo. We had to redo it. So here we are. Now everything's perfect. So no excuses, no controversy. Hopefully we answer all the questions tomorrow night.
You were kind of joking that you were nervous about Deiveson's weight, before all the COVID stuff.
I was checking in with them all day today, and he was on point, I think we've talked about this 100 times, is that, this is a hard business to run when things are normal, and then you add all the stuff that's going on right now. It's just, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to do, but we're getting through it. We're doing it.
For Joseph, I think he's 35 at this point, man. He's been around the company for such a long time. Do you feel like this is kind of his last shot? Like it's now?
Yeah, I'm sure he does too. This is Benavidez is one of those guys. Like no matter who comes in contact with that guy, whether it's people at the PI, other fighters that train down there, everybody likes Joe Benavidez. He's a great guy. He's a hard worker. There's never any bullshit with him. It's all he's a straightforward kid. He's a good kid, so it's cool to see him get another opportunity at this point in his career. I'm happy for him.
I want to ask you about the co-main event, Kelvin Gastelum. Does it feel like kind of a crossroads fight for him? I mean, he had a fight of the year, one of the greatest all-time fights ever.
He always does.
Kind of a flat performance after that. Does it feel like this is a crossroads at all?
I don't know, man. That kid's always exciting. He's always in fun fights, and I think tomorrow night's going to be the same too. I think that's a really fun fight. He's always in it. He's always right there. So, I don't know. We'll find out. I don't think it's a crossroads fight, though. This is a kid that, win, lose, or draw, tomorrow night will still be in the top 10, will still always be exciting, and can pull out a win with one punch.
I want to ask you about a guy that fought, I guess, like 48 hours ago at this point. Kamzat Chimaev is around the hotel saying he's cutting weight, trying to get another fight on this upcoming fight card before Fight Island's over. Is that...
Yeah, listen, he asked me to that night. I said, why not? Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Are you trying to find somebody for him?
Yeah, we are.
Is he done, or are you still looking for somebody?
As far as I know, we're still looking. Is Mick in here? Mick can never get out of here fast enough. He's working on something for him right now. We'll see what we can figure out.
Speaking of leaving, we heard you're leaving Fight Island early. You're not staying through the whole run?
Did what?
Are you leaving early?
Yeah, I was always, my birthday's coming up, so yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I wanted to ask you, seeing the news back home in Vegas, it seems like, you know, you mentioned you are a little bit worried. I've seen the headlines the last few days that I hadn't been seeing. It seems really bad. How serious are you? I mean, is there a possibility that maybe August doesn't happen at the Apex?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm always a worst case scenario guy. I'm always looking at what, you know, the possibilities are. I was thinking this 2 months ago, not just now. But, you know, you ask any of my guys, they'll tell you, I've been saying, you think this is just going away? People are like, oh, the heat, when the heat comes. Well, there's a lot of places out there right now that are hot that are still dealing with this thing. So I don't see what the heat has to do with it. And I don't know. So, like I said, nobody seems to be an expert on this thing, but, you know, I have some backup plans. It's not ideal. It's not what I want to do. I want to stay in Vegas. I think we've proved, not only in Vegas, but in other parts of the world and other parts of the country, we can pull this off safely and not hurt anybody. And hopefully we have that opportunity to do that in our hometown, where it would be a lot safer for all of us. So I hope that's the case. We'll see.
Last question for me. Colby Covington is taking to social media, posting a contract that he had with Tyron Woodley that was supposed to happen in mid-August. He says Tyron's not taking it. Can you update us on that situation, if that fight's going to happen, when it might happen?
It's a fight we're working on, you know. Listen, Woodley said he wanted to fight him, so, you know, Woodley's been talking about fighting Colby Covington since, you know, Colby fought Usman. So it is true that that Colby signed the deal and he's ready to go. So just waiting on Woodley.
Hey, Dana.
Yep.
Just jumping on the back of that fight seems to be so hard to make. It's like every time you guys try to make it, one of them accuses the other one of not taking it. What has been the hold-up? Has it always
Listen, I always tell you guys, listen, I'm always trying to make the fights that, you know, that should be made or people want to see. And people can say whatever they want publicly, but, you know, behind the scenes, it's another story. And I can't speak honestly about what's going on. I haven't been involved in that. I've been here. But we're trying to make Woodley versus Covington. And Covington is definitely in.
I think Woodley said he would do it in September, so would you be happy to put it on, or do you really want Covington on that August date?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you right now.
Henry Cejudo's been firing off at basically anyone near his weight division, Alex Volkanovski. Have you guys spoken since he retired, and is he potentially interested in coming back?
We haven't talked. Cejudo is retired. I'm not. I told you guys last time, these guys that retire, I don't even think about them again. I'm already moving on to the, you know, I'm looking at tomorrow night, I'm looking at, you know, what's next, and all this. I'm not thinking about those guys.
I think you said to Kevin Ione you have a backup plan in America if Vegas is taken off the table, right?
Say that again?
Do you have a backup place you could go in the States?
Yes.
Would you, knowing what we have here in Abu Dhabi, would you just try and get your currently scheduled events in America done and then just come over here for the foreseeable future, or would you try and stay in America?
Yeah, no, we're going to do a lot of fights over here. I mean, if you look at how many international fights we do a year, you know, we do those here in Abu Dhabi, but, you know, we have to do some of these fights in the States. It's been tough to, this is quite a flight.
Is there, with the partnership you guys have with Abu Dhabi, is there ever a limit you can see that they'll let you stay here for one time? Like, we've been here for a month, could you potentially be here for 2 months?
Just never leave. We all become Abu Dhabi citizens for the next couple of years. I don't know. Listen, these guys are great. They're incredible to work with. I literally couldn't say enough good things about this partnership for the last more than a decade. There's not one thing. I'd love to be critical about some of the things here and say, you know what? I think they could do this better. There's nothing they can do better. Literally everything has been perfect. When you look at what we're dealing with, the circumstances that are going on, this couldn't be better. And there's nowhere else you're going to go anywhere where, you know, the restaurants are the way that they are here, the hotels, the service, you know, it's just not possible. These guys are the best at what they do. Hospitality, building things that weren't here to accommodate the events that they're doing. It's just, nobody does it like Abu Dhabi.
The last one for me. When we get back to the States, you've got Holly Holm versus Aldana scheduled, but there's only like 2 fights been announced for that card. Do you have the other fights booked, or is that something you've got to go home and work on?
Yeah. I told you guys, as soon as I go home, I get home on like Sunday, I'm gonna be working on, all of the. I get home Sunday, by Wednesday or Thursday, I'll have everything done till October. I'll have all the way up till October done. Maybe even November.
Yeah. You talked about Seguro that you're not thinking about his house not fighting anymore. What about John Jones? You announced the same thing, but you hasn't been.
John Jones doesn't want to fight.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet.
You don't know if you consider doing an interim title.
I haven't even thought about it.
Speaking about titles, you mentioned that Gilbert Burns is next for Kamaru Usman. Jorge Masvidal is campaigning for a immediate rematch with Full Camp. After he proved that he's a big draw, is that something you would consider doing now?
Gilbert's next. Yeah.
You were talking about the fights and they have another plan if you have to change and not do them at the Apex. What about the Contender Series? Do you have a plan B?
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a great question. No, I don't have plan B for that. I mean, that's going to be a tough one too. If we have to do the Contender Series somewhere, I mean, we're talking some of the plans. This isn't done and this isn't guaranteed, but some of the things that I'm working on right now, we would do the Contender Series for 5 straight weeks. Then I have some other stuff going on that I'm planning right now. And then we'd have another 5 weeks of the Contender Series. So, I mean, that would be hard to pull off somewhere. I mean, we'd literally have to go stay somewhere for 5 weeks to pull that off. So, who knows? I don't know, man. At the end of the day, you know that we get shit done and we make it happen. So, we'll figure it out.
But are you thinking about the Contender Series here in Abu Dhabi or in America somewhere there?
About doing the Contender Series, yeah. I mean, listen, if I have to go stay somewhere for 5 weeks and put on fights for 5 weeks, Abu Dhabi would be a great place to do it. But like I said, it's a long trip to, I don't know the answer to that yet, but we'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Mr. White, what do you think about how a fighter's nationality can help further develop that territory? How has someone like Munir Aziz come along at the ideal opportunity when you've got UFC Arabia and the partnership with Abu Dhabi? How is it, has someone like Munir Aziz, who's just beaten Al-Hassan, has he come along at the ideal opportunity when you've got this partnership with Abu Dhabi?
Listen, I don't know how it helps. The partnership with Abu Dhabi is awesome either way. But, when you have some local talent that does well, I mean, and not just does well. I mean, that kid was a 4-1 underdog. And he went in there against a fucking beast. And has a fight, like the fight that they fought that night. It's very good for the region, From what I'm told, that kid is very popular here. He's got a lot of support here in the region. And when you go on and you put on a performance like that as a 4-1 underdog, it's good for the region. It's good for the people who live here love that. So, I wouldn't say that it does anything for the partnership, but it also shows that we've been here for over a decade, and they're starting to create some talent here. Where it will be really big here is when a homegrown, guy from Abu Dhabi or Dubai starts to fight and win and can possibly be a world champion someday. That's when you really, you'll really see this region go off. I mean, look what Conor McGregor did for Europe. If you look at the time that we spent and the money that we spent in Australia, now we have a champion from Australia and New Zealand. And the list goes on in different markets that we've been to.
What did you say to Aziz after the fight?
I just went over and said congratulations. It's just, the story is just mind-boggling. I mean, I'm sure you heard the story that night. My son's birthday party and took a bunch of his friends to dinner, and this kid that's sitting next to me, Adam, is just terrorizing me about this guy. Because they live out here, him and his family live out here. And he's like, I'm telling you, this guy's awesome, you need him, they love him in the area, it'll be big, it'll be this. I said, all right, kid, I'm gonna do it. So I literally called Sean Shelby and told him to make the fight. And then to be sitting there, the first couple minutes, you know, we tell the story of how a 17-year-old kid made this fight, and then the first 2 seconds I was like, oh shit, you know, and but it worked out, you know.
Are you going to take any more recommendations from him?
I might take another record. Yeah, that kid's a rock star right now. He's loving it. If you go on his Instagram, it's all about the fight and him making the fight. So it was pretty cool. It was a cool story, and the fight was unbelievable.
Dana, with the COVID situation, a lot of the restrictions, sometimes from the state, sometimes from the federal, being handed down. Is there ever dialogue between you businesses and the governor on the measures?
Are we in contact with the governor?
Yeah, does he talk to you and other businesses of ideas of what should be put in place?
No, I don't think he doesn't talk to us about you know, other businesses. It's just we talk to him about our business, and you know.
So he does take feedback.
Beg him to not shut it down. Yeah.
Does it seem like it would to do a draconian 10 people max? Does that make sense? Versus like every situation is not equal.
I agree. The thing that scares me is, you know, obviously we've proved that we can do this. If you look at how you know, from my staff to the corners to the fighters to the media. I mean, we've done it all the right way. We've made sure that everybody's safe. You know, I'm just worried if the mentality becomes, if I shut these guys down, I have to shut everybody down, kind of thing. You know, that's more what I'm worried about than anything. I mean, there's no question that we can do this, and we should be able to operate out of the Apex for the rest of however long we want to. But I just hope that's going to be the case.
Then you said that UFC has backup plan for August, but outside of Abu Dhabi, is there any other third option for the UFC, like any other country right now that could have UFC events outside of Abu Dhabi and the US?
No. How long have you been here? When did you get here?
At the beginning of the month.
Why would I go anywhere else? Why would I even think about going anywhere else?
Maybe
other than Abu Dhabi?
Maybe if you can do events in the US in August, are you coming back right now to Abu Dhabi? Like,
I don't know yet. It's just going to depend on what happens. Listen, we're definitely coming back to Abu Dhabi, yes. I mean, that's guaranteed. I said when I came here, everybody had this idea that, you know, this Fight Island thing was 3 or 4 fights and that was a wrap. It's not true. We're here to stay. As far as trying to find another venue outside of the United States, ain't happening. Why would I go anywhere other than Abu Dhabi? Abu Dhabi might end up becoming the fight capital of the world. Seriously, when you think about it. It's definitely not Vegas right now.
and my other question is, Costa said that the fight against Adesanya is taking so long to have a done deal that he told the UFC that he would be open to fight for an interim title. Does that make sense to you? Is this true? He told the UFC that he would fight another guy.
What's that?
Costa saying it's taking too long to make a fight with Joelle Adesanya. Would you ever consider doing an interim title, Costa versus somebody else?
No, they're going to fight, and that fight's going to happen.
Yeah, just because he said that he told the UFC that he would like to fight for an interim title.
Well, the fight took so long to get ready because he got hurt. That's why the fight's taking so long. I mean, that fight was supposed to happen a long time ago, but he got hurt, so we've been waiting for him to get healed. He's better now, and you know, obviously, the world is batshit nuts right now. So we're getting everything lined up, but that fight's going to happen. There's no need to do any other fights.
Anything else? I think it's it.
Good?
Dana?
Yeah? Thank you, guys.
Hey, Dana? I just have a last question. Yeah, given what you just said, it's probably not the best time, but would you have any updates for the UFC in Paris in 2021?
Yeah, no, bad time. Thank you.
All right, we just heard from Dana White, and unfortunately, there will not be any predictions. I remember said earlier this year, or maybe late last year, France finally legalized MMA, and so UFC was like, yes, we'd love to go to France. But however, right now there is no timeline for when that's going to happen.
So how you looking?
All right. It looks like we will not have any more scrums after this. So thank you so much for tuning in this morning to our official weigh-in stream, and then now our stare down and Dana White stream. And we will be back later today with our preview show. And stay tuned tomorrow for all of our coverage of UFC Fight Night Figueiredo versus Benavidez, UFC Fight Island number 2. We will be here all night tomorrow. And we will have videos for you from Abu Dhabi, from our reporter Guilherme Cruz there. And, we will have our post show, all the goodies for you. Thanks so much for tuning in.